with Sally. Today we're not doing gardening. Um, upon request from a lot of my customers or viewers or my people, my fans, whatever, I was asking them for advice on barbecue ribs. So I'm going to experiment and explore with everyone. I apologize. Today is Sunday, so all the neighbors are out mowing their lawns. So hopefully it's not too noisy and too distracting. So first things first is, hi, Still, how are you doing today? So first things first, before we're going to start grilling, is getting the grill ready. So on these smokers, I'm not sure if people are aware, but there's my cast iron from making steak the other night. Hold on one second, I'm going to set this down. See if I can give you a better look of what I'm doing without holding the phone. It's always an adjustment here. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday afternoon. So anyway, this was my cast iron that I used to, I experimented this week, and I used the cast iron to reverse sear my steak, and it turned out really good. So maybe one time I'll do a stream on that. But inside these grills, these smokers, there's a cup inside where the pellets are formed, and about every time you use a bag of pellets, it needs to be cleaned out, and I haven't done so in a bag and a half. So I've actually got to take this grill apart real quick before I start. And I always have this handy glove right here by the grill. So I'm going to take these things out, just set them to the side. I'm actually going to take a shop vac and vacuum off the top of this and vacuum out that cup inside. There is one time where I didn't do that and the cup got full. And what happens is it creates kind of like a combustion. So it starts to heat up and then it just goes poof. And then it doesn't smoke properly. So since we're out here, we might as well show you how to do it. So the vacuum's gonna get loud real quick. So I just got my shop vac. I'm just gonna vacuum this off. I'm not gonna do it perfectly, but good deal. So now that that's done, gotta pull this out. So this pops off. This just lifts out. And so does this piece here. It's underneath here, and I'll show you once I get this out. It's actually, the cup actually isn't too full, which is kind of surprising me. But you see all this ash down here? I'm going to vacuum all that up real quick and then put it back together and get it started. I guess there's a lot more ash in there than I thought there was. in the past, I've neglected to clean this out, and then it had that huge combustion, and it just went pop. And while I had to wait for like 40 minutes for it to get cold enough for me to actually clean it out. So I'd rather do it before I start it and just do a check. And try to pay attention to how many times it's been cleaned. So this just sits on top of there. And it kind of slants down so that all the grease will funnel down into the cup. This grill is kind of cool. I don't know if you can see these slats. I don't know if a lot of smokers have this option, but I can either do open flame and grill stuff, or I can do closed flame and use it as an oven. So you can cook like pizzas. I haven't tried pizza yet on here, but I think that'd be kind of fun to do. Then I have put these slats back in. So that took us like 5 minutes, but that 5 minutes will save tons of time. And I always rotate these grill slats. I don't use any kind of a Brillo pad or anything like that on them because I don't want to scratch them. Got those upside down. Let's turn those that way. Now my hands are all greasy. I have to go inside and wash them. All right, so we got those in there. Now we're going to start the grill up. I'll bring the camera over here. It's not hard to start up. This is a Pit Boss grill. I'm tall, you can't see me. This is a Pit Boss grill, which I've really liked. Got it at, we actually got it as a gift, but the people who bought it for us got it as a scratch and dent at Lowe's at the end of the season, which was really awesome. It's been my favorite thing that they've given us. And I cook on it all the time in the summer. It makes it so I can cook and multitask all day long. All right, let's bring this over here so you can kind of see. Socks with sandals, I know, okay? I had my socks on. I didn't want it. I have this tree, I call it tree poop, in my yard, and they stick to my socks. If not, I'd just be out here bare feet. But anyway, yeah, make fun of me, jerk. Okay, so you can see this. I'm going to move this vacuum out of the way. So here's the controllers. So when I first used this grill, I could not figure out how to turn it on and how to make it smoke. And it's really easy. You like my hands? I'm going to check. It's got plenty of pellets. It's all the way full. I don't ever have to use there's a primer. You don't ever have to use the primer mode unless it's like the tube where it feeds is empty, and that's when you want to use it. So plug it in. Everyone's out and about. The foot lovers. If you want to see foot, go back and look at my picture when I got stuck, when I stepped on a bee. It was horrible. Anyway, so this is on the off position. You're going to push the on button. Okay. Then, so you want to turn it on before you do any controls. So in order to light one of these, you push it to smoke mode. And can you hear it starting to hum? So once it starts smoking, then I'll go inside and then we'll start getting our ribs ready. You're going to hear the auger feeding. I don't know who all was in locals last night chatting, but I went out and sprayed like 8 or 9 hornets' nests, and I got some on my face. And I was paranoid, so I hurried up and got back in the shower and rinsed it off. And this morning I woke up and my eyes are swollen and puffy. Why are my eyes so swollen? And then like halfway through the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got that wasp spray on my face because it had some backsplash. And my skin is so sensitive to like outside toxins. It's crazy. It's bizarre. So be careful when you spray wasp spray that you don't get it in your face and that you wear protective gear. Okay, I think it's going to start. It's still feeding the pellets in there. Once it's done feeding, I actually have this screwdriver that I have sitting out here, so I can close the main piece up here, because I don't want to have an open flame, but I want to make sure that everything's feeding okay until then. I guess I don't need this glove anymore. All right, don't leave. I'm going to go wash my hand real quick while that's feeding, because I want to check on it. That grease is the worst. Grabbing some olive oil spray. I don't know how good the range is on this mic. I guess we're going to find out right quick. I'm actually grabbing some avocado oil to rub on the grill. Oh, we got smoke now. Perfect. Okay, so I have olive oil and I have avocado oil. I'm going to use avocado oil and I'm going to put it on a rag, terry cloth, and I'm going to rub it on the grill to kind of clean it. Avocado oil has a higher burn rate, so it's like 400 and I think it's 490 or 410. I'll have to relook it up. It's got really a higher burn rate, so it shouldn't smoke as bad and burn your food. So now that this is smoking, I'm going to close this. The only thing I hate about smoking on the grill is I smell like a smoker all day long. But I guess having good food comes at a price. So I'm going to just put a little bit of this avocado oil on this. Oil this grill that I used last time for my steak. And it's not very hot, so it's not cleaning very good right now. So I just got the oil on there for now, and as it heats up, it'll come back down and I'll wipe it some more. And I'll just leave this out here. Give it one more check and make sure the flame's still going. Yep, there's nice good flame. We'll close that and let it heat up. So it didn't take us too long. Yeah, this smoker can be used like a regular grill, which is really cool. So a lot of times I'll take my steaks out here and I will I will smoke them for like 20 minutes, and then I will turn it all the way up to like 450 or even higher. And then I will just cook them until they're done. And it gives a really great flavor. So this is amazing for a smoker. I love it. I love hamburgers cooked on it. You can cook, you can use it like an oven. So if you have your settings like 350, 400, whatever, you can actually, some people can bake cakes or brownies or whatever. I haven't tried that because I don't know if I want a smoky flavored brownie, but maybe it's good. Okay, we're gonna go inside now and we're gonna start prepping our ribs. So look at my messy garage, okay? Or you can, I don't care. It's after winter. All right, so I've got this set up in here. And yes, I just got all of my plants out of my house. So half of my kitchen is a disaster. So I actually started cleaning it today. I have to scrub the floor and get all the stuff off with vinegar. I got 2 racks, or 3 racks, I think. So I think we're going to kind of experiment. See if I can get this up high enough to where I can be talking to you so I can see. Okay. Missing a clip. Oh, there it is. Hopefully you can see me and what I'm doing. I'll wash my hands again. So I've got 3 half racks of ribs. They're pork ribs. So I think I'm going to experiment with some different seasonings and see what I think is the best. So we're going to figure it out together. No, we won't eat it all tonight. We'll actually save the ribs for, I like to reheat them. We reuse them. And we'll take some to the father-in-law tomorrow night. They have been kind of sick. And so I'm going to cook these because they heat up really well. So I've got these 3 racks of ribs. Hope you can't see that. Let's see where you can still see me. So we're just going to get to where you can see the ribs. You don't need to see me while I talk. Anyway, so on these, we need to take this membrane off first. And people say you can just tear it off. I've never had success with that, but I've only done it one time. So I'm going to grab me some gloves. I always just buy these disposable gloves in bulk because my kid is weird. He has to wear gloves when he was working with his animals. It's not weird. Yeah, the Sweet Baby Ray is my favorite. That one's a sweet sauce. I actually like their spicy sauce. But we're catching my breath. Stupid thing keeps falling down. So this last weekend, I sharpened these fillet knives. We're going to see if I actually did any kind of a good job sharpening these. I actually want you to be able to see. So let's put this down. And so, like I said, when I cook on the grill and stuff, a lot of things I do is that we can recook and reuse. I do not like to waste any food. I'm really weird about that. My family's really good at eating leftovers. Except for my daughter. She won't eat anything leftover. But let's see here. So I've never tried this knife. On this, I got it for Mother's Day for fishing. And I haven't used it yet. Others have. Because last year I didn't go fishing at all. It was a sad, sad year. So here's the membrane. And everyone says you can just grab it and pull it off. It almost looks like they've pulled it off already. But it didn't say. I don't know if the membrane's still on there. It's definitely off of that side. I don't know if that's fat or membrane. I think that might just be fat. They might have already done it for me. So on the back of ribs, typically there's a membrane. It's like a filmy layer. I don't think it's on there. I think they've pulled it off. Oh, no, there it is. I can see it now. You see that membrane where I'm pulling? So that means I'm just going to turn it and I'm going to cut it. I could just pull it off, but I'm just not that talented. Don't have the strength I used to have when I was younger. I think they pulled most of it off. I don't see it on those ones. I'm going to leave this fat on here because fat adds a lot of flavor, and then people can just kind of pick it off later. Yeah, I think the membrane's off of that one. Let's check the other one. I can see it a little bit on this right here. I don't know if you can see how it's a different kind of texture right there. You see that? That's the membrane. So what I'm going to try to do is get a little bit apart. I'm going to see if I can't grab a paper towel and pull it the rest of the way off. The membrane is a part of the thing. It's like the ribs or the lungs in between the rib cage. I'm going to grab a paper towel. Some people are struggling just to grip it. I'm not. Seeing that's not working very well. All those people on TV make it look so easy. So I'm just going to take the knife. I'm just going to flay it off. I want to know their secret to be able to do it all in one pull. So I haven't been able to do it yet. And I've done this one other time, but they were also pre-seasoned. I just took the membrane off. And I may be doing this completely wrong, but that's okay. I'm learning. This is how I'm going to do it today, and we're going to see how they turn out. And if they turn out terrible, then we're going to adjust and we're going to do it different. I think that's a lot what's wrong with people are afraid to screw something up or mess something up. Ooh, this knife is sharp. I love it. See that membrane right there? So the other night I think I sharpened like 5 or 6 knives. It makes a huge difference. Does anybody do anything fun and exciting today? Or y'all just chilling at home? Just want to get this little piece off right there. I'm not too worried about getting it off perfect because everybody else can eat through it. They can just eat around it. These ribs are going to fall off the bone anyway by the time we're done with them. That I do know. Do you know how to smoke them? That looks pretty good. See if I can't loosen it and get it off all at once. Feels almost like ripping the skin off of a fish. Keep moving it where you can't see. My bad. Here, let's lower this. There we go. That's better. So I still haven't managed to pull it off like everybody else does. So I'm just going to try to work through it. Must just be a skill or a technique because I haven't mastered it yet. I'd sit and try to pull that off all day. I'm just going to cheat. So after we get this done, I'll get this membrane off. There we go. Oh, that's coming. That was a good, nice piece. Yay. Oh, maybe you got to pull. It was easier to pull with the rib this direction than it was to try to pull this direction. So that was something that I just learned. Oh yeah, that's way easier. So direction matters, guys. If you're doing this, the direction you pull it makes it a lot easier. Way, way, way easier. So let's go back and check these out, make sure I can't get some of that off. Don't want to pull your meat off. I already cut that one pretty good. All right, so let's try pulling the other direction. Right through here. These are Costco ribs. I really, really enjoy Costco meat. Usually you get it for a pretty good deal, but just the flavor just seems more natural, more satisfying. Oh yeah, that's way easier. So direction, we just learned, matters when pulling off the membrane. So we can get this one off. Oh my goodness. This one's a lot tougher than the other one was. So we can get it loose so we can pull it off. This, for whatever reason, is a lot tougher. This is why I like to buy my ribs pre-seasoned. This part for me is the hardest part. The other part's not quite so hard. Last time I bought ribs that I seasoned myself, I think I just did salt and pepper and just cooked them really good. And then just used a barbecue sauce and let the kids decide what sauce they liked and they could just dip it or whatever. So we're gonna do some experimenting here. So I've got a mesquite rub here. So I'm gonna try a mesquite rub on one of them. And I think on another, I'm gonna do salt and pepper with fresh crushed peppers or fresh ground pepper. So I think one I'm going to do mesquite. One I'm going to do mesquite, and I'm going to do honey and butter with it to see how that is. And then one I'm going to just do salt and pepper. So we're going to experiment here. Hold on one sec. Pete. All right, I'm back. I had to use the restroom real quick. Okay, so now that you know what flavors we're going to experiment with, I'm going to higher this up so you can see what I'm doing over here. I'm actually going to take, I know a lot of people say to fatten it with butter or oil or whatever. You've never taken off of the membrane. I've never cooked them in a crock pot. I've only ever used them on the smoker. So I've heard that you could boil them. And I don't even know if it's necessary. I just watched a video, I think last year, that you're supposed to take it off. And everyone liked them. And maybe that's maybe it's more important with beef ribs. I'm not sure. I'm learning. And I'm willing to learn and experiment. A lot of food I make, I don't go by a recipe usually. Usually kind of just add things to it. And then if I like it, I try to repeat it. It's the same with when I make a turkey. So I'm actually going to put this butter in a pan. I'm going to melt it. But I'm not going to melt it in the microwave. I very seldom use my microwave for anything. So while I'm here, I'll just chit chat with you. See if this allows me. Right now it says this stream is live. Let me see here. Oh. I didn't know I could go back in time. I wonder why it always is lagging. Let's see. Oh, I just discovered why my stream lags is because I have the bar too far the other way. And so when I'm talking to people, just lagged again. That's weird. I think it has something to do with this thing. Oh, well. So I need to subscribe to my own channel. Okay, we're letting that melt, the butter melt. And then we're going to soak the ribs in the butter. I like that fat on there. That's going to give it some good flavor. Some people are picky, want to pull the fat off. I'm 30 seconds ahead. Yeah, there's some kind of a delay because like as I'm looking at the computer, I think that's why it's hard for me to, maybe it's different when you're actually live streaming from your computer. But with my ADD and I see myself lagging behind, it stresses me out. So that's why it's easier to stream with my phone and then check the chat on the laptop. All right, let me get the salt and pepper out. I'm going to actually use pink Himalayan sea salt, and it is a lot more salty, so you want to be careful when you're putting it on. Maybe I'll put some garlic powder and onion powder on it. I think that might be good. It might not be, but we're going to find out. Oh, I can't believe how puffy my eyes are from that stupid, that wasp spray. I guess I'm going to have to try to find something that I can use to get rid of them other than that. It's too hard to not get it on my skin. Cedar, I don't know if you're still in the chat. Taking off the membrane, it's supposed to make it so when you're cooking it and you just eat in between the ribs, it makes it so it's not tough. If you cook ribs that are fall off the bone ribs, usually you can pick through the membrane, but it just makes it more enjoyable. It's less gristly. It's less tough when you're eating it. So that's why you would not want to eat. That's why you take the membrane off. It's a texture thing and it's a toughness thing. So it does make it more enjoyable. So like someone had said that they boil their ribs. So that kind of softens it up. I personally don't like the texture of the membrane. So I'm happy to just get it off. This butter's almost melted. So I'm going to put the butter on here, and then we're going to let it sit for a minute, and then we're going to add our seasonings and go take it out and put it on the smoker. So far, it's only taken us 34 minutes at this point to clean the grill, get it started, get it ready for smoking. And the seasoning should only take us a couple minutes to get that done. Then I'll put on the smoker I'll let them smoke for an hour. And they have apple wood pellets in it. Apple wood is my favorite. It's kind of more of a neutral flavor of smoke. Some people say they can't even tell the difference when they smoke with the flavor. I do. And I've used mesquite, I've used apple wood, and I've used a combination of the two where I put some mesquite and some apple and kind of stir it up. But apple wood is my favorite, especially if I'm doing a turkey or hamburgers. But that's the flavor I personally like. But that's all about what your taste is. I usually get whatever pellets are on sale. Okay, this butter's just about there. I think I might need a bigger pan for my baster. Someone put the dishes away for me, which means I'm not going to be able to find the baster. They're so helpful. So I'm just going to spread it with my hands. So after we get these ribs on the grill, get them set up on there, maybe take like a 10-minute break, or I could just leave you hanging. But I'm going to go and start prepping for my stuff where my pond finally came, my tape, so that I can patch the top of the pond so that I can get the rock set up in there. Because I got this butter, and I'm just going to kind of spread it on here. People use all different kinds of things. Like some people use oil, some people use mustard. I cook everything with butter. And I never use margarine. So I'm just going to kind of smear this in there and let it sit. It's a nice looking slab. I think like from here on up, there's like 0 rib bones. So I think that's kind of a bonus. It's going to be a nice piece of meat there. Seems like there's usually all bones at least. Turn that over. And the fat kind of acts like a sticky, so that the herbs will stick to it, so from what I've read up. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, someone in the chat tell me. Like I said, this is like the first time that I seasoned it one other time, but they were beef ribs, and I don't think I went through this whole process. I did take the membrane off. All right, so now I got all my butter. And I think I'm supposed to pat it dry before I put the seasonings on. So maybe we'll try that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one at a time and stick it on the grill because I don't want to cross the flavors over. I don't think it'll really matter though. So on this first one, I'm going to take some Himalayan salt. It is a lot more salty. See it a little bit, Julian. Things are coming. This is a lot more salty, so we're gonna want to be sparingly with that because pork ribs are already kind of salty. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna take some onion powder and sprinkle it on there. You don't want to rub it with your gloves because that's just going to cause it to be on your gloves and not on the meat. Take some onion powder. Don't really like this shaker. It comes out kind of quick. I have no idea how onion powder is going to taste on ribs. I'm going to take pepper. I'm going to put quite a bit on there because I like pepper. I'm going to take the other side. I always do the membrane side first because I'd rather have the flavor on the top. That's just me. I am smearing that garlic around because it's coming out pretty quick. All right, so then I got Himalayan salt. And then some pepper. And actually, instead of bringing this out and putting it on the grill now, I'm actually just going to grab some foil, or if I wasn't experimenting with different flavors, I wouldn't care. I'm just curious to see which is going to taste better. So let's put foil on top of this one. And take the next guy here. And I'm going to do this one with mesquite flavor. Oops, that was the wrong end. And this is a rub. So a rub is different. It's more meant to be a more higher of a concentration. There's some seasonings I put on, and I put on thick like a rub, and it just way overdoes it. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on there nice and good and cover everything. I just about rubbed it with my glove. Don't rub it or pat it. Just let it sit on there. So that's a membrane end. Now we've got the other end. Mesquite has a good, nice, smoky flavor. This is Grill Mates brand. There's a couple that there's actually a really good one that I like that I get online. I'll have to find the name of it, but it's more natural. There's no additives. It's all natural stuff. And some of this came off on the tin foil. I'm just going to kind of like see if I can't push it into the meat, the tin foil. Okay, so we're going to do one with mesquite. And then I'm going to do mesquite again. So this one we won't put anything on with it. We'll just cook it as it is. But on the one with mesquite, we're actually going to add honey and brown sugar to it and barbecue sauce. And I don't think you have to do membrane end down. It's just what I'm doing. All right, that side done. All right. See, I just patted it again. Don't pat it. It just comes out and ends up on your gloves. The tin foil is not sticky. See, the tin foil, as I'm pressing it, is actually allowing me to press it on there. So that's just something I learned. So that's not coming off on the tin foil. So if you do feel like you need to press it in there, you can just take the tin foil. Oh, that's kind of cool. But with my gloves, it just stuck to my gloves. Okay, let's change these out, and then I'm going to put them on the grill and then get smoking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the phone out first, and then I'll come back up for the ribs. So we're going to go through the tour through the messy house again. It's not super messy. I just need a mop because I've been climbing flowers and coming in and out of the house without taking my shoes off, which I would kill anybody else in my house for doing. But since I'm the one who cleans, I can get away with it. All right, so we got our grill over here. It's smoking nice and good. When you smoke ribs, it's really important to come out because you can leave them on there and they're not going to burn. But in the past, my smoker, for whatever reason, just stopped and I lost an hour of cook time. So you want to make sure you're checking it periodically to make sure that the grill is still going. It's not going to ruin it, but just adds another hour or so to your cooking. All right, go and grab ribs. Hi, Mike. How are you doing? I didn't see you in the chat earlier. Would have said hi sooner. So I got the ribs over here. Now, when I put them on the smoker, I don't do any tin foil or anything like that. So we'll smoke them for an hour, and then I'll remove them one at a time, and then we'll wrap them. We'll check to see what they're looking like, and I'll add them to tin foil and wrap them up tight, and then we'll increase the temperature and slow cook them from there. So I got these ribs. I can't answer tons of questions on why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just what I'm doing. This is just, we're just hanging out, cooking ribs. So you can't separate those. I have one more rack I could put in there, which for the smoking process, I think I am. And I'll probably have to rotate them later. So it's going to give me more room. Try to clean this off first. When I clean, I said this earlier, I don't use any scratchy stuff on my racks, and not doing so has made them last a lot longer, become cleaner, a lot easier for me. All right, so this is the worst part when it starts to smoke. Right, so we'll just set that rack in there, and then we'll set the last one on top. Actually, I'm going to set this one on top, so if it drips any juice, it's going to be the same flavor. Then we're going to close it. I'm going to do a double check and make sure. So right now it says that for whatever reason, my grill's flashing. So I'm going to turn it off, turn it back on, and make sure if the temperature down here flashes when it's not working properly. So what did you guys think? That wasn't too hard, was it? So if I wasn't talking and stuff, it probably would have taken me 30 minutes of prep time. You can see you. But it's not too bad. So now the easy part, the hard part's done, and now I just need them to slowly cook. They'll smoke for 1 hour. I try to open the lid as little as possible when they're cooking, because I just want them to have a good, thorough cook. After an hour, I will come out, wrap them in foil. I will add some more butter to them, and then I'll wrap them tight in foil. And then every single hour after that, I will check on them to see how they're doing. So I'll start them at probably, for the first hour, I'll cook them on 225 probably. And then the next hour, I'll increase the temperature, and then I'll drop back down the temperature. And then in the last hour is when I'll take them in, and I will add honey to one of the ribs and brown sugar. So that's going to be our experiment. I don't know if Cole is still in here. Anyway, Colton, I don't know if he goes by Colton in here. He's Cole in the chat. I get so confused because I'm in like two different chats. But he suggested do yard work and stream while doing the barbecue ribs. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you have other things to do and you need to leave, I totally understand. So I might take like 5-minute pauses or 3-minute pauses here just to get things set up and ready. But the goal is to kind of just hang out. Let's have a fun Sunday day and make some ribs, and you can kind of see what the process is. And if you have questions or comments, I'm learning how to do the rib thing. And a lot of times I don't know why I do something. I just do it that way. So, you know, that's kind of cooking. As a lot of people, I do this because my mom taught me. I do this because my dad taught me. But that's kind of a lot, the process for doing ribs. So let's go in the backyard and check out what we got to do. I still haven't got to the front yard yet, but the front yard is not my main priority yet. Check on the flowers and see if any of them need watering, because it rained last night, but I haven't checked. Uh-oh. Dog can smell food. He's like, I smell some barbecue, Mom. He's got his nose going. Can you see him over there? Can you see how he walks with his feet like that? That's how a blind dog walks. He lifts upwards so that he doesn't, it's almost like a Clydesdale, so that he doesn't hurt his feet. Kind of like, so he doesn't trip on things. So it looks like we need to do some watering. So right here, got the pond liner to fix. I don't know if you can see right there in the stream. Hard for me to see if you can see what I'm seeing. So along the stream over there, if I don't patch it, water will leak out and the pond won't stay full. And so last year I used a knockoff tape because I was impatient and I didn't want to wait for the good Gorilla Tape to come in. So now, because I was impatient and couldn't wait 5 days, now I have to redo it. The winters with the extremes, with the hot and the cold, there's always some patching, but usually it's small. Last year, I totally replaced the river portion of the pond because it had like little micro tears from people stepping on the rocks and stuff. And last thing I want to do is waste water. The whole goal is to conserve water and be able to have a nice clean pond. So anyway, well, that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to set the camera down here, and I'm going to go take off my handy dandy apron here because I don't need it out here, and grab the tape. And the dog's whining at me. I don't know what he wants. He wants a shower. He's the only dog I know that hates to be dirty, and he's a week past due. So I'm going to set this down, take my mic off for 3 seconds and set it over here. So I'm going to wash my hands. Yes, I could take it with me. I'll take it off upstairs. But you can look at this mess that we're going to be doing. I'm actually going to take that pump out real quick. Good bully. Take my shoes off. All right, so this right here is a sub pump that's in here. So I just pumped enough of the water out so this would dry out overnight. And there should be some fish in here unless all the snakes have eaten them. So I only drained a little bit out. And grab some rubbing alcohol. kind of clean the rest of this off, and a dry erase scrubber. So all where this is lifted up, the water will just leak out. And this is where I used the Flex stuff last year, and it just peels right off. Okay, be right back, guys. You want to go inside? There you go. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Oh boy. He never knows what he wants. He smells barbecue and he's wanting me to give him some. Can't blame him though. So I'm checking the time. It's 3:08. So it's been 10 minutes since we put the ribs on the grill. We got the dry erasers and the rubbing alcohol. And supposedly with this tape, you don't have to wait for it to seal or anything like that. It's pretty much ready to go. All right. My kids stole my rubbing alcohol. I don't know what he, oh, there it is. Never mind, he did it. Try to accuse him and blame him. There it is. Grab some scissors. Sorry, I can't see chat right now, guys. I just walked upstairs to the computer and it's like 3 minutes behind. That's weird to me. Maybe it's because I'm not streaming from it. Are you coming back outside? Well, come on. Come on. Come on. Step. Step. There you go. Hopefully none of you guys ever have to experience having a blind dog. But I spent 3 weeks teaching him all of his commands. So I teach him like what up means and what step means. There's a step. Come on. Come this way. Come on. Step. Step. There you go. Step. So it takes a lot of trust for him to trust that I'm not going to put him in any harm's way. All right. I don't know who all is still here. Let's check this out. I might have to move the angle of that camera because of the angle of the sun. I don't know if it's going to get hot and then kill my stream halfway through. Should just set the shade. Still have 7 people here. Yay. Looking at these flowers, and they need a little bit of water before I start doing this other stuff. Cleaning pond is my nemesis. I used to have to clean it every single week, but I got me a UV filter that so has a UV light in it, and it does a really good job at cleaning out all the green moss and algae. which allows the pond to only have to be cleaned like twice a year. But I still haven't finished cleaning it for this year. Careful, dog. Careful. I'm right here. You're fine. You can go. This yard is usually, we don't usually move anything in the yard for him because he learns to navigate and he's really smart. So he memorizes where he's at. But since, oops, that's hot water. Make sure that when you water your flowers, make sure you're not pouring hot water from the sun, from the hose onto your plants. It will kill them. So making sure it's filling it till it gets lukewarm. I forgot there was a castle in the bottom of there. Whew, it's taking forever to cool down. It's hot. Today's a warm day here in Utah. It went from stormy to hot, and I actually see storm clouds again, probably to the east, and they actually look like they're coming this direction. But that would be my luck, right? I swear, every single day it's been these random storms. All right, there we go. Just giving some of these flowers down yonder a drink. They turned out really pretty. I don't know if you can see them that good. There you go. That's better. Try really hard not to get too much water in the pond at all right now because I'm waiting for it to dry out so that I can fix this liner. Move those out of the way. Can't wait to have all these flowers in the ground. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a pond. What was I going to say? But if you have had one, knowing the right products to use is best. I know I'm not, obviously not sponsored by anybody. But this is a Gorilla Tape. That is the best. So this is a Gorilla waterproof hat and seal tape. It works underwater. You can use it in or outdoors. And it's a permanent bond. This stuff looks really, really good. And before I replaced my liner, this is what I used. And last year I couldn't find it. It was like a month out. So you don't have to, the best thing about this, you don't have to wait for it to dry for you to use it. It comes typically in double-sided, thick, and single-sided. I think this, hopefully this is single-sided. I'm not going to throw this piece away, so that I can just stick it back on there. So it's like a flex still. This is single-sided, which I was hoping that was the one I ordered. So just see the one side, it's super sticky. So there's going to be a film on one side of it that looks like that. I'll stick it on there. I've actually got to go grab the tool. Yeah, my off. Oh, on my apron. Thank you. I left it on my apron when I took it off. That was very smart of me. What would I do without you? So anyway, this is Gorilla Tape. It is single-sided, not sponsored by them, obviously. But this is the best thing that I found to fix my pond. On this side is not a filmy thing. You can use it around doors. You can use it to patch holes on your roof, your ceiling. But this is hands down the best thing I've used for patching my pond. It'll last me all year and probably for a couple of years. So this is what we're using. I'm going to go grab a tool out in the garage that's kind of like a roller. You roll on it. That will allow to get a good seal on it. Kind of like a rolling pin with your hat. Probably the same type of stuff that you'd use for laminate. And hopefully it's hung where it's supposed to be. And as I'm going out here, I'm going to double check the grill and make sure that it's still in the on position. All right, it's supposed to be hung up here, right here on the wall. Not, it may be in a pond box. Let's see, rotary, like sandpaper, chalk, tape, door hardware, knobs, can lights. Let's see. All right, so I don't see a hand, a putty knife. That should allow me enough. And while I'm out here, grab me some water, and forgot to grab a terry cloth towel to dry the alcohol off with. Grabbing that. Thinking about turtles for the pond. Oh, I can't wait to watch them swim around. I like it when it's all cleaned out. Get all the rocks put up and have the fish swimming around them. All right, I'm back. So I grabbed a terry cloth towel. I couldn't find the tool that I need. So I'm improvising, and I think a putty knife should be good, allow me to give it enough pressure. Trying to see if you're going to be able to see where I'm working. I have to adjust this. I take my socks off. This pond down here is pretty dirty, so it's going to be mossy, so I have to be careful where I step. Whew. Oh, it's cold. It feels good. Let's see. I think that'll give me access to be able to see good. Hopefully the visibility is pretty good on that, guys. You can see okay where I'm working. Yeah, I think you're going to be able to see that. I'm going to grab my rubbing alcohol. Where did I just set that down at? Oh, it's on the other side. So I don't know who all was here the other day, but I cut back all of the ivy that's in the middle right here. so that I could get to all this stuff. So before you couldn't even see the river. I moved all this stuff out of the way so that the backyard could get mowed. Stay there, puppers. Okay, now we can climb in the stream. Now hopefully my mic doesn't fall off and land in the water. That'll be my luck, huh? All right, so my putty knife, my Mr. Clean dry erasers. So I want to make sure that where I'm sticking this tape, so this whole liner that's going all along here, anywhere where it's lifting, right there it's down pretty good. Maybe that spot needs to be patched. It just needs to be reinforced. So move some of these rocks out of the way. Can't wait till these rocks can have their proper place, because these all go inside the river or the pond. Oh, I don't know if I should be standing in here without. So black widow spiders love watery areas. And last year when I was cleaning out the rocks, I had found one. And it wasn't until after I removed all the rocks with no gloves on that I found it. So if I jump from something creepy crawly being near me, you'll know why. I'm going to try to get some of the sand off. See where that's coming off really good right there. And like I said, it's that cheap stuff. You can see it right there. It's just ripping off. So I obviously didn't have a good enough of a sill on there. So got my rubbing alcohol. I think I'm going to do dry erase first. And I use 91% rubbing alcohol because it has a quicker dry time. It evaporates sooner. So I'm just going to take this and we'll kind of see if I can get any of that extra moss on there. See how it just comes right off. So I'm using dry erase. That way I don't have to try to wait for it to dry forever later. I'm going to get some of that stuff off of there. This right here is part of the tub. Can you guys see me okay? I hope you can. I'm looking for fish, because if I see any fish in there, I'm going to take them out and put them in the lower pond so that they don't accidentally get anything on them that they shouldn't. So once I get this on here, I should be able to fill it up tonight with water, clean out all the dirty stuff one more time. Did we get that towel wet? So I've got that cleaned off pretty good. So I'm going to take rubbing alcohol on this towel Get any extra dirt and debris off of there. I don't know if anyone's had a pond, but the more sun that the water gets, the more algae that grows. So if you can have one that's mostly shaded, which with the trees now, this one is finally shaded pretty good. Oopsie, didn't want to get that wet. So I'm gonna let that dry. And depending on what it looks like, I may take, I do have some, do you think vinegar will work better than the rubbing alcohol? Usually what I'll end up doing is putting acetone on it. Don't need to do a ton of scrubbing, but what I'll probably end up doing is taking, what was I going to say, a little bit of sandpaper to it to roughen it up a little bit, so that when I put the tape on it, it'll grip really good to the pores. I'm looking at the top part of the pond, because the waterfall comes up to the top and comes down with both sides. So anywhere where there's extra water that can leak out, we don't want. If you're going to have a pond, you want to make sure the idea of having like the UV filter and all that stuff is to make it so I don't waste water. And then you know, if there's leaks and you have to fill it up every day, then it's not super responsible. I do have high-grade vinegar. Maybe I'll go grab some of that, but that'll come off really easy. It's a great idea, whoever suggested that. I definitely have some in the kitchen. You can definitely see the cheap stuff I bought last year. I mean, it's just all wanting to come up. It's really annoying. See if this one's all sealed down nice and good to the waterfall. Move some rocks around. Hold on. Don't think you can see what I'm doing. Let's move that camera just a little bit. I swear the neighbors put their dog outside when they're doing naughty business because they want some private time, and the dog just sits out here and barks. Let's see. Yep, you can see what I'm doing. So right here, the water will come down the stream this way. So gotta look for any cracks at the water. So right there is a little bit of a crack where the water can leak down. So anything that's like that coming loose, I'll want to secure. And I'm telling you, this Gorilla Tape stuff is amazing. I wonder if that kit that I have, because I bought a kit one year with the Gorilla Tape, I wonder if it's in with the pond stuff. So we have a little pond area where I keep all that stuff stored. And that's pretty secured right there. I'm gonna have to put a little piece. Don't think that's gonna leak back. I think that side stayed down really good, but I think that stuff's the old tape I used. So that stuff's not new. That stuff is down there really secure. And that's the difference between using something cheap and using something that works. And so far I don't have any spiders trying to kill me, so that's good. That I know of. If you guys don't hear from me tomorrow, you'll know what happened. Okay, gonna look over at this other side real quick. I'm gonna go grab some vinegar right now. I have some upstairs that I use, that I dilute. So give me one sec. Oh my gosh, all those 3 turtles are hanging up on the top of the pond. They're so cute. Guess I don't have to come back downstairs, dog. You know you don't want to come inside. You know you want to come hang out. Come on. Come on. Come back downstairs. I know you just want to follow me around today. Come on. Come on. Looking in this one box, this one tool. If it's not here, I'm just going to say whatever. Oh, my goodness. Can't wait for this house. Can't wait for it just to be in maintenance mode. So everything's just easy. Oh my gosh, I found it. That's awesome. That's perfect. Whew. And I found my other little scrubby that I like too. So that's going to make it nice. So this was a tool that I was talking about. And it's just like a roller that you can roll the stuff on really tight. So that's really handy. It's going to be way easier than the putty knife, because I'll be able to add pressure to it to seal it down nice and good. So this is a scrubber I typically use for the pond. So I'm going to put some vinegar on here. Putting my feet in the water because I really am kind of paranoid about spiders. And I only need to go down a little bit. I don't have to get all the way clean, because what I'll do is I'll take the pressure washer to it later. And I just need where I'm going to put the tape down to be clean. So I get a nice seal. So I'm going to put, there's that. I'm going to dry it, put some rubbing alcohol on it. And as soon as I feel like it's dry enough, I put the tape on it. The tape doesn't take a lot. Just making sure all this stuff is dry. Sad thing is I don't see any of my fish floating around. I think the snakes got them. Maybe I might move some of those rocks. I'll be able to find them the rest of the way. So just rubbing alcohol, put off that liner. It's pretty porous. All right, we're going to take a break for just a sec and let that dry and walk away from that annoying dog barking. Should we check on our ribs? Let's go see how they're doing. It's a lot shadier in the front. This tree is huge. It shades the whole entire front yard. Is anybody else barbecuing today? Yeah, the vinegar seems, whoever suggested that, thank you. It seems to be working pretty good. Now I'm just going to let it dry. And then I'll roughen it up with just a little bit of sandpaper. The plastic part of it, just roughing it up. Oh, you did? Before? Oh, did your storm come to your place? Oh, no, you made hamburgers. The hamburgers on the grill, or did you grill something else? I can't remember. Okay, so let's check and make sure the temperature is good. Do you season in a special way, or do you like them pretty plain? I'm going over here to make sure. So there's no flashing of the light. It says the internal temperature is, can't read. So when it smokes, It smokes on this particular smoker. It smokes at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, just in case you wanted to know. So you use burgers with Sweet Baby Ray's? I've never had that. That kind of sounds really good. I don't know, kind of weird. I like to have on my hamburgers, I like to do black and pepper, blue cheese crumbles, and chipotle sauce, which is add some bacon, which is a really weird combination. I used to work at a restaurant where I bartended for 14 years, and that was my favorite hamburger. And I would just eat it without the bun. All right, I'm just cooling off in the shade for a minute, letting that dry. Let's see, let me see what time it is. So 4:08, we've got to wrap. So in 30 minutes, we've got to wrap in foil. So maybe what I should do is I'm going to end this particular stream with an egg and peanut butter. No, maybe with an egg. I don't know if I would like it with PB. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this stream for 30 minutes so that I can plug in my phone and charge my mic just to make sure that I don't die in the middle of streaming. So if you guys have something to do for 30 minutes, go hurry up and do it. And I will come back when those ribs are ready to be wrapped in foil. Does that sound like a plan? Okay, so I will see you in 30 minutes if you don't have anything else going on. See you soon.